I cannot believe I have to fucking make this video again. Okay, right? So, for my ignorant people out there, for my geographically challenged people out there, I have some crazy news, right? Jamaica is not in Africa. Jamaica is not in fucking Africa, okay? I don't know. I just thought growing up that everybody knew geography growing up. I don't know why it was just me. Maybe it's just one of my like autistic niches, but I'm back home in Korea now, but I was literally in Thailand this morning and some guy at the airport, he's like, "Oh my God, where are you from?" I think he was Thai. I'm like, "Yeah, man, Jamaica, I come from here. I don't know Jamaica, I come from here. To the bone." I said, "In Africa?" You know, I lived in Asia for like 5 years now. I'm used to it. It's nothing major. I'm not mad. It's not that deep. But out of all the places I've been to, this is crazy, right? This is crazy. This is a shock. Asia might be the worst when it comes to geography. I'm just like, where are the schools? You know, what are y'all like learning? Do y'all just not know that there are other black people outside of America and Africa? Like, what is going on? And it's not just Asia specifically. My African friend, Katie, this is about you. Yeah, this is about you. Half Nigerian, half Japanese girl, right? We're going to the movies one day. She's like, "Ezra, you never been to Africa?" I'm like, "Katie, why? How would I have the opportunity to go to Africa? Like, why would I be in Africa?" She's like, "Aren't you African?" And then proceeds to tell me that all her friends in Africa think Jamaica is in Africa. Cultural erasure. So this is a PSA for absolutely fucking everybody who is ignorant about geography. Jamaica is in the Caribbean, you know. Right under North America, right above South America, right next to Central. I can't take it, man. I like the ignorance. Open up the school, them. If you do a DNA test on me, yes, it will come back to Africa because, you know, slavery. But it's been a while since then. Jamaica has its own culture, own people, own language, own traditions. Educate yourselves. Thank you.
So, I think it's safe to say that there are a few Africans growing up who genuinely thought that Jamaica was in Africa. And I am guilty. I am one of those people who genuinely thought Jamaica was an African country. And I remember growing up, my dad used to play Bob Marley so much. And on top of that, the vinyl, we used to call it LPs, the cover was clearly a black African man. So it didn't make sense that if anyone had to tell me, no, this man is not in Africa or from Africa, you know, he's obviously African, but that Jamaica's not in Africa. Made no sense. But I know better now, guys. I'm grown up, but I do know something. So there's this other African country, and they do not consider themselves black. I don't even know if they think they're African. It's a blue flag, and no, it's not Botswana, but maybe if we can like swap them with the Caribbean. Just a thought. Use it, don't use it.
One thing for sure, Jamaica is in Africa. I don't care what the geographers say. Because, do you know how much that scarred me when I was 10? Do you understand? I'm sorry.
Hi guys, welcome back once again. African people, they are so much shocked and surprised that Jamaica is not from Africa, because they all knew and they believe that Jamaican and African, they are so much related in many things, and they are surprised that Jamaica is not from Africa. Kindly watch the rest of the clip and then I'll be back with more comments.
South Africans are okay with things not making sense. For example, Jamaica's not in Africa, Haiti's not in Africa, Brazil's not in Africa, but I've come across some South Africans that in theory know this, but in reality, like, they don't compute it or process it, right? For example, I'll tell people about my Jamaican friends. I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, like, Jamaicans have housed me and made me feel more welcome and helped my transition a lot more than, you know, some African people." And they'll be like, "Why are you separating Jamaicans from Africans? Is Jamaica not in Africa?" I'm like, "Bro, we were in the same geography class. You know that Jamaica is not in Africa." And then people would have to dig in their knowledge and be like, "Oh my gosh, in theory, yes, I do know that it's not in Africa." But the way that Jamaican culture, Haitian culture, even some people think that Brazil, not as often Brazil comes up, but some people do think that Brazil is in Africa. Like, they would know it in theory that it's not in Africa, but then practically and realistically, like, their brains just see these cultures, the spirituality within these cultures, their expression, the color, the ceremoniousness, the way that Africans feel loved when they're in these countries, and they'll be like, "Yeah, this must be an African person," even though the theory we learned in class is cognitively dissonant to that, or it is incongruent to the information that their brain feeds them. And I find that so fascinating. I find that so fascinating. And I think then when you approach the African continent or South Africa, knowing that things make sense not making sense, knowing that people can maneuver the countries in the world in their heads to make sense of identity in the world, I think it lets you approach South African ignorance differently, and South African history and political context differently, because there is a context as to why people think that Jamaica is in Africa. And it's not everyone. It's some people. It's probably a minority before people come at me. But yeah, I hope I'm making.
This is a question. This question is only for Africans. This question is only for Africans. When did you guys realize or found out that Jamaica was not in Africa? When did you guys realize or found out that Jamaica was not in Africa? Because this is something new to me, and I found out today that few Africans told me today that they thought Jamaica was in Africa. So I want to know, when did you guys find out?
Nope. No. I refuse. What do you mean Jamaica is not in Africa? What do you mean Jamaica is not in Africa? No. No. I refuse to believe it. No, I am not accepting that shame. Angeke. No. How? No.
This whole time I thought Jamaica was part of Africa. Last year I went to a Jamaican restaurant to go buy some Jamaican food. And the lady had a Jamaican accent and we got to talking. And then I was like, "Are you from Africa?" She goes, "No." And I was like, this bitch really thinks I'm dumb. Doesn't she know I can hear her accent? And in my mind, like when I left there, in my mind the whole time I was just laughing to myself, like, this girl really doesn't want to say she's African. Meanwhile, I can hear her accent. She's obviously African. So I tell my brother the story. And then my brother tells me that, yo, Jamaica is not part of Africa.
Jamaica not being in Africa doesn't make sense to me. It's like 77 plus 33.
This is spiritual. The love Africans have for Jamaicans, it's really, really spiritual, people. I know a lot of you are going to think that's crazy, but that is true. It's like you cannot convince an African at some point in their lives that Jamaica is not an African country. They will literally pull out pictures of Jamaicans and they'll say, yeah, and they are African. Then you'll say to them, okay, point where they are in Africa, and then they'll be all blank and they'll be traumatized when they discover that Jamaica is actually an island in the Caribbean. I was traumatized when I discovered that, so I'm talking from experience. So then my ancestors say to me, it's spiritual. The connection between Jamaicans and Africans is spiritual. That connection that broke between African Americans and Africans because of slavery did not break with Jamaicans. It remained like the cord, the umbilical cord between the Africans and the African Americans. It broke during slavery, but it did not break with the Jamaicans. It remained strong. They remained tagged into the source. So what was the reason? What is the reason that they were tagged into the source and remained tagged into the source? The women, they had very strong metaphysical scientists who were women, and they were like leading them. It's almost like one of their leaders, one of their very first leaders who did what she did. I think I remember her name. Wherever she was very, very metaphysically strong. She did rituals along with others which kept the cord, the umbilical cord, intact, because she thought one day they were going to be able to get on boats and go home, and she didn't want to lose that connection. Literally, yeah, I'm listening to them talking. Literally, that's why for Africans, Jamaica is in Africa, no matter what. It's a spiritual connection that has remained over hundreds of years and will remain for eternity. Isn't that fascinating? I think that's amazing. I think that's cool. And yes, I still think it's a travesty that Jamaica is not in Africa.
POV, me every day trying to prove to my kids that Jamaica is not in Africa.
We eat chicken, rice, goat, pork, beef.
My mom be eating Jamaican food. I don't know nothing about it.
Y'all soda so nasty.
That was just one flavor. You had ginger beer, which is not the best.
Ginger beer. Well, can you break us back some food with a drink? And we're gonna try it. You can rate it 1 out of 10.
I thought the thing was gonna taste like Sprite or something.
But there are different types of soda, though.
I thought it was like ginger ale. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. Like battery.
But you can't drink one Jamaican soda and say all of them are bad.
Well, that one was
I'm a grok. Something gone. Sound I'm a chop.
Y'all don't even know any Jamaican song.
But they be like, they be coming out of nowhere.
I know Bob Marley.
Yeah, you know Bob Marley. Which Bob Marley song, you know? It's gonna be alright. Let's play, don't worry. It's Three Little Birds. Which dance? What dance is that? That's a TikTok dance?
Yeah, they were dancing to the song.
Oh.
He be having a ski mask. He be
jumping up the wall.
To Skilly Bang dance? To Skilly Bang song, that's how he was?
You know Jamaicans came from Africa.
No, we did not.
But you did come from
Nope.
Africa.
We did not come from Africa. Just keep to the side.
CJ, I know you like Nigerians.
Keep me away from this dirty Africa, man. I'll be from there. Dirty things, them. Have you seen what the food looks like? How can I be from Africa? I don't eat that dirty food, fam. Ugh, Africans, bro.
Give me 3 countries in Africa.
Jamaica.
Where you from?
Houston. I'm from Nigeria, though.
Give me 3 countries in Africa.
Nigeria, Liberia, and Sudan. Nigeria.
You can't mention what he said.
I'm from Nigeria, though.
That means you have to probably know 10 of it.
Okay, Ghana.
2 hours later.
Let me think.
It's too Nigerian to be thinking.
Yeah. Jamaica. Jamaica.
Jamaica, okay. How long did you live in Nigeria? Did you ever go there?
No, I didn't. I would say once, but it's ones he already said.
Oh, chim. But there are 54 countries.
I'm just having a brain fart.
It's okay, you got it.
Algeria.
Give me just one more.
Ooh.
Let me make it easy. What continent is Africa in?
Damn. I want to say something. I don't know if it's gonna be wrong. Like,
You can give 2 guesses. You got it, I promise.
my mind is somewhere else right now.
What continent is Africa in?
It is a continent.
It is a continent. Thank you so much.
Let me come back.
God have mercy upon us.
Why am I just finding this out? Why? And I was seriously ready to argue with my friends. My friend was telling me and I was like, bro, you're lying. I was laughing at her. Why? Anytime I tell people, oh, I'm from Nigeria, they're like, oh, I have a friend from Jamaica. It's not even in Africa. Why didn't I know that? Why didn't you go tell me that?
God.
Bro, this is so fucking true. Ain't nobody love reggae music like South African uncles and aunties and the grandparents. They love that shit, bruv. I remember my second trip there. I went to Johannesburg and we rented this whole house. And it was about around 2 and something like that in the afternoon. And I went out on the balcony and the neighbors next to me, bruv. All I heard was,
Easy skanking, skanking it easy. Oh, pirates, yes, they rob by Buffalo Soldier. And I was like, wait, hold on, wait, what? And the mix, I was listening to the mix. It went on and on and on and on. So I was like, Jamaicans! We have some Jamaicans next to us. So we was gonna go out in it. So I was like, oh yeah, like you mans. I was telling everybody. I was like, when we're going past, let's tell like, you know, the neighbors hi in Jamaica, bruv. We got out of this house, went up to their house, got to the gate. We saw it. It was two like older couple. Like they looked like they were in like their 40s, 50s, 60s. So went up to them. I agreed to them in patois, bruv. I was like, wow, go on, uncle. Like I was chatting patois. Please tell me why. This man replied back to me in a South African accent. I said, hello, hi, excuse me. He's like, yes, I'm South African. It was two full South African uncle and aunties, bruv. And they were in the front garden dancing the fuck like ain't nobody's business. And then, you know, the funny thing is, like, you will go into, like, certain areas and you'll just hear them be beating reggae, bruv. It's not a joke. I think Bob Marley performed in South Africa one time, bruv. I can't remember. But, bruv, they love that shit. I don't think Jamaican people appreciate reggae music the way they do. They love that shit.
Guys, do you know that there are people who think that Jamaica is in Africa? Like, serious. And, you know, sometimes some people say some things and you say, oh my God, why would you think that? That's so stupid. Like, it makes sense that you would think Jamaica is in Africa. Like, we were talking about flights and she was like, what's the flight time to go home? So I said, like, 4 and 20 minutes, you know. She said, 4 and 20 minutes to Africa. I said, Jamaica's not in Africa. Jamaica's in the Caribbean. I mean, yes, like, that is widely known that Jamaica's in the Caribbean, but it makes sense. Say Jamaica should be a place in Africa. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it does.
Can you name 5 countries in Africa?
Jamaica.
Jamaica is not in Africa, bro.
Is it not?
Can you name 5 countries in Africa?
Nigeria,
Yes.
Ghana,
Brilliant.
Africa.
Can you name 5 countries in Africa?
Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Egypt.
Can you name 5 countries in Africa?
Ghana, Uganda,
Yes.
Kenya,
Yes.
Gabon,
Yes.
South Africa.
Easy. Can you name 5 countries in Africa?
Nigeria,
Yes.
Somalia,
Yes.
Somaliland,
Yes.
Uganda,
Yeah.
Ghana.
South Africa,
Yes.
Nigeria,
Yes.
Congo, Nigeria,
Yes.
Egypt.
Yes.
Growing up, I used to think that Jamaica was part of Africa. I'm a Nigerian myself, and I don't know why. I always just thought that Jamaica was somewhere in Africa. I don't know why.
I love this creator so much, and I'm honestly so glad she made this video. I always tell people, like, the most welcoming group of African people that I have ever met are South African people. As a Caribbean person. And I say as a Caribbean person because when it comes down to a lot of West African countries, which is where Caribbean people are predominantly from, West Africa, there is a lot of stigma towards the Caribbean population when it comes down to, let's say, like Nigerians and Ghanaians and so on and so forth. So my first time going to South Africa, I was very like apprehensive. I was kind of like nervous. I'm like, I don't really know how I'm gonna be perceived. I don't know how I'm gonna be received, because I was so used to there being this like stigma, you know. And also I went with my best friend, and like she's Haitian, so you know, it's like 2 Caribbean people going to Africa, well, South Africa, but just Africa in general. And you know, like having or just hearing just really bad and just negative things about us as Caribbean people, because it's like, oh, like you're not African, oh, you're mixed. I've literally seen someone online tell this woman, your ancestors were taken from this land, and because of that you're no longer African. Like, whoa. You know, and like, granted, I'm not walking around waving around a freaking Nigerian flag as a Jamaican person or something, but it's just like, there's still, I don't know. I'm not saying that we need to be like, because at the end of the day, we are Caribbean people, right? We are Caribbean. I was not raised in Nigerian or Ghanaian or any type of West African culture directly, but there still is that level of influence in the Caribbean, at least in Japan. No, in the Caribbean, honestly, in the Caribbean. And it was, I don't know, it was just like going to South Africa. I felt like I was received as someone who is an extension of the continent of Africa and not my own separate entity, which is what a lot of West African people make us feel like. And like I always tell people, like, when I went to Cape Town, it it felt like I was in Jamaica. Like, it had a very Caribbean presence and flow and vibe to it, which I loved. Like, I felt so at home because I lived in Jamaica for like 5 years, and I love my country and everything, and mixed with like the feelings of just the environment and how welcoming the people were. Like, the people I met, they were like, yeah, like, if people ask you, just say you're like Zulu or something. And I was just like, okay, okay, like, okay. And like, even going out places, because I do talk predominantly with like an American accent, but then when I do say some things, people can kind of like tell. But I feel like when you have an American accent and you go other places, people don't really hear like underlying accents that you have. It's more of like an American thing. Like Americans can like clock me and be like, yeah, like, you're not like just American, like you are, like, you're something else. But when I was in South Africa, they're just like, yeah, like, you're American. But then like I would like do certain things, like say certain things, and then people would be like, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, like, I'm like Jamaican. And they'd be like, oh, like, my brother, like, welcome, da da da, whatever, whatever. So there is such a level of like camaraderie when it comes down to South Africans and Caribbean people, and I love it so much. Like, I love it so much because it's so welcoming, and it's just this feeling of like engulfing love, and it's just like it's just so amazing.
Hi guys, welcome back once again. I really believe you watched the full clip. And one thing we all know is that Jamaica is from Caribbean. Jamaica is often closely associated with African culture and historical, but is not located in Africa. We all know Jamaica is one of the Caribbean country, and the majority of Jamaican descendants from African who were taken to the Caribbean during the slave trade. These Africans came from many regions across Africa, bringing language, tradition, music, and spiritual beliefs. This is the reason why I'm just trying to break down why a lot of African people really believe that Jamaica is from Africa. And through cultural and identity, Jamaican music like drumming rhythm that influence reggae, dance, food, and storytelling all have strong African roots. Jamaican Creole patois contain African linguistic patterns alongside English. We all know Jamaican patois language is a mixture of African linguistic that it was combined so that to make this language. Resistance and survival. Enslaved African in Jamaica resisted oppression, preserved tradition, and formed strong communities that shaped national identity. Spiritual and political links. The Rastafarian movement drew inspiration from Ethiopian as a symbol of African pride and freedom. Jamaican leaders Marcus Garvey promoted Pan-African, encouraging people of African descendants worldwide to connect with Africa. And this is the reason why a lot of Jamaican proudly say that we are Africans, people born in the Caribbean. Yeah, and this is the reason why a lot of African people that have came out in line number and they're so much surprised because of how Jamaica is not from Africa. Because we really believe that Jamaican people, they come out and say that we are African but born in the Caribbean because of all those true descendants, through all those true slave trade that really happened. This is the reason why Jamaican people, they have the same ancestral background with African people. And one thing I love about Jamaican people is that they have never denied their ancestral background. They all know and they all believe that they came from African lineage. And this is the reason why we have all seen African people really love Jamaicans a lot. And Jamaican people, they also love African people a lot. Through their music, through their culture, through the Rastafarian movement, you can also see these things. When you come to Africa, there is a lot of people practicing Rastafarian culture. There's a lot of people practicing reggae music. If you can go to Africa, there's everywhere. They have painted the pictures of Bob Marley, they have painted the pictures of Marcus Garvey. Jamaican African people, they have really loved to appreciate Jamaican people a lot. You can go to some places, you can find Jamaican flags everywhere. They like appreciating what Jamaican people have really done to them. And through reggae music, it has really connected a lot of people. Bob Marley really inspired a lot of people outside here. We've all seen how a lot of African countries practice Jamaican culture. A lot of African people or African musicians, they also copy how Jamaican people sing. Come to dancehall music, come to reggae music, come to athletics. The legend Usain Bolt, it has really inspired a lot of African upcoming athletics outside here. And this is the reason why a lot of people really believe that Jamaica is from Africa, because of how Africa, they have really copied Jamaican culture everywhere. African people, they really love Jamaican a lot. And this one thing that I would really like Jamaican people to know. African countries really loved you a lot. And we really appreciate for what you are doing, because we all know Jamaica has really influenced a lot of countries outside there. Jamaica, we all know, is the most influential country in the Caribbean, and it has really influenced a lot of countries outside there here. And this is the reason why we've all seen a lot of people really love to visit Jamaica. Whenever you go to Caribbean and someone asks you where are you going from or where are you coming from, definitely what's come into his mind is that, are you from Jamaica or are you going to Jamaica? And this really shows you how Jamaica is the most influential country. And Africans are so much shocked that this small Caribbean that has really influenced across all over the world, that it has a lot of potential across all over the world, is not from Africa. Then they really hope and they really believe that if Jamaica was from Africa, the all African people will be so happy. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section, and if it was for the first time, I humbly request, don't forget to like this video, subscribe and share. Thank you so much for your time. May God bless you wherever you are. One love.